Crazy stuff. We got 27 already. All right. What's up, Avi? All right, let's see here. All right. We got 50 in the chat, guys. Crazy stuff. We could probably go through so many different topics today, whether it's Patrick Kane, Timothy Liljegren, Nick Robertson now, Ferg, man, Sheldon Keefe. This is a Sheldon Keefe 100% thing right here. I wish Nick Robertson would give Craig Berube a shot, give this New Year's shot with potentially Bertuzzi not coming back. We'll see. But, I mean, now you kind of have to bring back Bertuzzi. Yeah, Nick Robertson wants a trade. So, yeah, I'm just trying to think out loud, like, around the league, like, other potential change of sceneries. Like, if the Leafs were going to trade for Rutger McGroarty from Winnipeg, could you entice, Winnipeg with... Now you have a second-round pick next year. Like, could you entice them with Fraser Minton, Liljegren, Robertson? Like, two of those three guys, or all three of them, frankly. Like, man, that Robertson value just went like this. Like, I was kind of backing that the value was going to go back up, but now after, like, if this is a public thing, now that he requested a trade, which... Whoa, darkness. Man, Nick Robertson, needed to stay healthy, but at the end of the day, it is partially a Sheldon Keefe thing. So, you need an opportunity. Oliver Wahlstrom with the Islanders would be interesting. I wonder if that could be a potential swap, but I don't know if I want to see Robertson go to the Islanders. I think one of the California teams would be the best fit for Robertson. A lot of opportunity, close to home. We got 140 in the chat. Thanks for being here, guys. What's up, Logan? Hey, there you go, Henry Muse. Hey, thank you, everyone. Retweet this. Share it around. Get some people in here. So, David, again, this is less about the injury, more about, or like the injuries, more about the shuffling of lines, roster construction. So not just a Keefe, probably an overall management thing. But so David says, in speaking with the Hockey News guys last spring, Robertson made it clear in no uncertain terms that he wasn't happy with the shuffling around he went through while the club managed the cap. So it's not even just, I guess with that too, it's not even just the shuffling of the lines. It's frankly, when Robertson was going up and down through waivers, not waivers, up and down through the AHL to the NHL with no waivers because he didn't require that. I mean, you can kind of see that perspective. Like, that's why I'm not even blaming the guy. Like, obviously injuries have been a conversation with this player, but I feel like I put myself in his shoes. If you're getting sent up and down all the time, which he was, just for the cap, just for roster spots, he was being played on the fourth line at times. Keefe was shuffling him around. Like, his most successful times were like stretches with Matthews or stretches with Domi. Like, guys that could actually create for him. As a 22-year-old, that's not something you should be asking from every single young player, is that they have to create off their own line. Like, you're expecting a young player to step into a role like that and score goals, and he did this year. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, I think he scored, 13, 14 goals? Like, for a 22-year-old, I forgot when that wasn't, like, something to praise a little bit. Like, 14 goals at 22 years old, you're expecting a progression at that point. If the guy can stay healthy, you're expecting him to push for 20 goals next season, or at least over 15. And the year after that, you're talking about 24, 25, entering the prime. Then maybe it's 25, 30 goals. You've got yourself a top 9 NHL player, top 6 NHL player if he's scoring 25 plus. So, hey, Milan, thank you so much for the $5 dono. Says if Tanev is the big splash, that'd be a joke. I have a bad feeling it's another run it back tape job. So I'll pull it up, guys. Kevin Weeks tweet. So obviously the Nick Robertson stuff just came out. So more of that conversation. But it does look like Gensel is going to sign a 7-year deal in Tampa. So again, I'm not going to really comment on it until we see the number per year. But I mean, this no tax state thing is getting ridiculous. Like, players have completely woken up about it and been like, you know what, we can get a lot more money in our pockets going to these markets. And I don't think it's crazy to say that if you do look at the last 5-6 years, like, Panthers and Lightning have benefited big time. Like, the Panthers just won a cup, back-to-back Stanley Cup final appearances. The Lightning 3 in a row in terms of finals appearances, 2 cups. Like, I think people are really realizing it, especially in like the times that we're in. So I don't blame Gensel, but at the same time, now what's going to happen with Steven Stamkos? A lot could potentially happen, but there's a lot of people pointing towards Nashville potentially with Stammer. Kevin Weeks talking about a scare off. I talked about this as a potential Marner return. So we'll see what happens if he does get traded. Let's see, here we go. So here's the Kevin Weeks tweet, guys. Maple Leafs and Tanev sounds like new contract comes in around $5 million AAV, so per year, from what I'm told, for the hometown guy. So what people are having a problem with this is, and including myself, is it was reported that Elliott Freeman, that it was going to be a 6-year deal at least, or at least they're offering a 6-year deal. So my perspective is, if that's pretty consistent with this, then that's a crazy contract to hand out to a 34-year-old. Like, $30 million total, over 6 years. It's crazy stuff. At the same time, I think his report was more that they offered at least. Maybe there was a conversation that happened today that Tanev just wanted more money per year, and none of that. I don't know. I mean, they're risking it with 6 years, like the league looking into it, as Saravelli decided to point out today. But I think if it's anything more than 3 years at $5 million, like, I think the history of the injuries, I love Tanev. And what he just did with the Dallas Stars this past playoff run, being able to shut down guys at the top of the league, like a McKinnon, for example, like an Eichel. I like Tanev going into next season. I like Tanev going into the next season after that. But much past that, like, Tanev is a liability in terms of staying healthy. He is a great shot blocker, one of the best defensive defensemen in the league. But in terms of staying healthy, that's been an issue over his career. And again, he's 34. So you'd have to expect by 37, 38, there's going to be a severe drop-off. In most cases, there is. So 3-year deal, sure. But if this is going to be anywhere close to the 6-year term at $5 million per year, that gets pretty crazy. Let's see. Yeah, guys, so my prediction earlier was I thought it was going to be $4 million per year for 6 years, and I was already saying that's a lot. And I think a lot of fans wanted less than that, but I thought that was realistic. Like, to me, Tanev's price tag, I thought it was going to be around a 4 to 5 year deal, around 4.5 to 5. That's what I thought. I thought a 4-year deal in that range, 4.5 to 5. So if this is a 4-year deal, I'm just going to accept it and move on because it's not that bad. If Tanev can stay healthy, that's a big if. You're probably going to get 3 good seasons out of him. So if you have to sign that extra year, hopefully it's not a Patrick Marleau situation all over again. Anything past 4 years at this number is a problem for me. But thank you so much, guys. We got 430 in the chat. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. Hit that like button. Yeah, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Yeah, Tanev, he's gotten slower. I mean, that he's never been known for his skating, but that's not why you're bringing him in. Guys, I just think, again, if you're talking about right now, I think I'm going to have an argument with anyone that's having an issue for the player right now. Like, at this number, what Tanev just did for Dallas, frankly, what Tanev's done the last couple seasons is valued for any team, any playoff team. What he just did for Dallas this past playoff run, Dallas is weak in one area. their bottom half of their defense group, basically. They've, for now like 3-4 seasons, they put all their trust, like finally they've gotten Thomas Harley into the picture, but it's always been like Miro Heiskanen like 80% and then Lindell with some support there. Thomas Harley finally coming into the scene, but outside of that, it was all Chris Tanev defensively. On his matchup games against like Rantanen, McKinnon, Eichel, Stone, like he was a beast. He was an absolute beast in the playoffs. So for that number right now, Tanev is definitely an upgrade over Brody, right? That's $5 million is the number TJ Brody was just making. I think some people forget that. Chris Tanev is a clear and obvious upgrade over Brody for so many reasons. I think Tanev complements Morgan Rielly's game a lot more than Brody does. More of that shutdown, more of that simple game. Right shot, as much as we want to ignore it, yes, the right shot does bring value because the Leafs have clearly lacked right shot defensemen, reliable right shot defensemen. I.e. why we're having to have an issue talking about Timothy Liljegren's contract. And I mean, he's just shown there's reference sites here. Like there's reference situations here to talk about with the Vancouver Canucks, with the Calgary Flames, with the Dallas Stars. He boosts everyone he plays with. Quinn Hughes raves about playing with Chris Tanev. Miro Heiskanen, the Dallas Stars. Look how highly they talked about Chris Tanev, and there was evidence to show for. The Calgary Flames. Everyone loved Tanev there. So that's my perspective on Tanev, I'd say. Yeah, Logan, it's because I've been uploading a lot the last few couple days, I guess, in the last few hours. So usually it only tosses out notifications for like 3 videos/streams in a span. But anyways, guys, if you haven't yet, hit me up on Twitter, X. If you want to share the stream, I appreciate it. I'll answer some questions in the chat. I was going to make a video, but honestly, I was like, you know what? You guys glad I went live? I think it's pretty chill to go live before free agency. I'll be live all day tomorrow, so I hope everyone that's in this stream right now, it's Happy Canada Day tomorrow. But for everyone in the U.S., international, I hope you guys can get out of work or just listen in the stream tomorrow because it's going to be a chaotic one. 24-hour live stream. I wish. I'm exhausted. Like I haven't been stopping lately. Like, obviously Friday work, then I do the draft stream. So like that's like a full 13 hour day for me. Then Saturday morning, CTV, get the videos done, get the stream setup done, Zoom to a cottage, go see some friends at a cottage, Zoom this morning, back from the cottage, couple hours, then hop on Bleacher Report live stream while posting videos because of the breaking news today, and then get that power nap in, and we're live. So 24-hour live stream, a couple years ago, maybe, but can't be doing a 24-hour live stream then hitting the office Tuesday morning. That'd be rough. Let's see. BJ says Canucks ran like 4 new defense partners this year. Hronik, Soucy, Cole, Freeman, Juleson. Yeah, so Hronik's obviously going to be a staple for the Canucks defense. Soucy's going to be in that top 4. They re-signed Freeman. They kept Juleson, and Cole likely is going to walk. Stinging says Pinto and Norris are injury prone. Yeah, definitely Norris. I've been saying I would not be surprised if Ottawa moves Norris this offseason. Pinto, I don't think so, but the Pinto one's interesting because I think so. I always forget the threshold, but I believe for a first-round pick and third-round pick, the threshold is, someone correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, I think it's 6.7, 6.8. So what that means, guys, is for an RFA, if someone tries to offer sheet an RFA, there's certain thresholds that require certain compensation. So say, I think it's between like 4.5 to 6.8 million per. If a team offer sheeted Pinto and Pinto accepted and it was in that range, I think it's a first and third round pick that team would have to give up to the Ottawa Senators. And then after that, it's like 2 first-round picks and another draft pick, I believe. And then it can go up to as much as 4 first-round picks, which we've seen that a few times, i.e. like Shea Weber, Flyers, offer sheet. That would have been, I think, 4 first-round picks. The Kotkaniemi one was just a first-round pick from Montreal to Carolina. So, Rain, I was just talking about that. I was like, you know what? Would the Leafs... So... Fraser Minton's from out west. Maybe you package like Fraser Minton and Nick Robertson second round pick, maybe another piece if you have to. But I mean, I think at that point there's a lot you're giving up there. But starting with a package of Minton, Robertson, and that second you acquired in that Florida trade, that's an intriguing starting point for McGroarty. Again, I think the only chance the Jets get like a better deal than that is like if they get like a 1-for-1 situation, like the Cutter Gauthier for Jamie Drysdale. That's how I would compare it. So I gave the example of like Columbus, David Juracek for Rucker McGroarty. I mean, that's like the comparable of how Winnipeg, but I don't know if there's many situations out there. Like Juracek apparently requested a trade. That's why I'm just wondering like if the Leafs could sit down with Robertson and figure this out, because sometimes there's ways to figure it out. Like David Juracek requested a trade, and now it seems like that kind of went quiet. So I don't know. But here's the thing, Logan Thompson, and I kind of forgot about this. After the Golden Knights won the cup, and he didn't really play, he was like out for an injury, he wasn't really happy about the situation. And then Logan Thompson played with Vegas all this past season, and everyone kind of forgot that he wasn't happy about it. Apparently he still wanted out, and that's why Logan Thompson got traded to the Washington Capitals. So there's always going to be those situations where sometimes the player's not happy, and it seems like Robertson probably wasn't happy for a while. And there was talks that last summer, and even the summer before that, he wasn't happy. So now I think he's at the point where he's just saying he's not going to sign a contract. Yeah, RP, I saw that Patrick Kane is likely going to sign a 1-year deal with the Red Wings. I'm going to wait to see what happens, what the number's at. Let's see. Caden says, anyone know how much money Kane signed for? We don't know how much yet, but for a 1-year deal, I would think it might just be the same as last year. We'll see, though. Like somewhere between 3 and 4 mil, I would think. Wow, guys, we have 500 in the chat. Can we get some 500 hype? If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. I'll be live all day tomorrow. It's pretty cool, guys. Didn't really plan for a stream, but just went live, and appreciate you guys hanging in. Leafs treated Robertson like garbage. I don't blame him, Jeremy says. Rain says Sean Monahan hitting free agency, it seems. Yes, sir. Mini Clip says Robertson to Chicago. Yeah, that's one I was thinking. And the Blackhawks do have a couple guys that could use a change of scenery. Like a Taylor Radish, for example. There's a couple other guys there that could use the change of scenery. So I wondered about Chicago. But I do think that could be a bigger trade too. We'll see, though. I mean, there's always the big ideas that kind of float around. I don't think the Seth Jones conversation came from nothing, but at the same time, again, nothing happens unless Marner waves, and I think it would have to be more than just Seth Jones. But, hey, I think Robertson could be interesting. I think Robertson, like I said, probably the California teams, team like Chicago, if I can name another one, maybe like the Minnesota Wild. That would be interesting. I've talked about Gus in Minnesota, Philip Gustafson, the goalie, being maybe a target for Toronto. Yeah, Darkness, that would be a fun idea. Nick Robertson reuniting with his brother in Dallas. I mean, the only thing with that is that I don't really have a candidate for like Dallas to send back to Toronto there. Like I think it would have to just be a draft pick, but then at the same time, Dallas has so many forwards. So to me, I actually thought Ty Dellandrea was that guy, but then he was traded to San Jose. So I don't know. Let's see. Yep, Jake DeBrusk is a free agent. Robertson for Bergeron. I think Red Wings fans probably have more value in Bergeron. That one's interesting, though, because I feel like Johnny Bergeron doesn't get enough opportunity in Detroit. So Duchesne is definitely staying in Dallas in my eyes. He's a free agent, so he'll just re-sign in Dallas. He's not going to get moved. Dadonov, yeah, that one's interesting. But again, I feel like Dadonov's style, he can actually play on the fourth line, where Robertson, you can't stick him on the fourth line. Let's see. Darkness says, I see us signing someone tomorrow. I have a very difficult time seeing Armstrong just sitting on $16 million of cap. Yeah, I think the Blues are going to be aggressive. I just don't know who they're going to target. Like, the Blues and David Perron connection will always live forever. So you have to like not count that one out. But I think in terms of other options, I wonder. There's a couple. I wonder if they would revisit Perron, but I also look at a guy like Bertuzzi. Like I would look at, or DeBrusque, like guys that are in their late 20s. I don't know if the Blues want to sign guys in their 30s. Just I feel like they're going through like that, not retool phase. Like I think they feel they're good enough to be in the playoffs, but guys that can stick. So yeah, I wonder if St. Louis is going to look at guys like a Bertuzzi or DeBrusque. There's a lot of defense options though. I wonder if they sign a guy on that right side. Maybe someone cheap. Like, I'm trying to think who. I mean, they had different guys running their power play. Like, maybe they could sign a cheap guy, like, not to say that I agree with this idea, but like a Tyson Barrie or D'Angelo. I could see the Blues just signing a guy like that for $1 million. Not to say it's a great idea, but something like that, cheap. Yeah, Justin Schultz would be another good example of that. Just like a bottom pair power play guy for like $1 to $2 million. I could see that. Duclair to the Flames. I know people have brought that up. My prediction, if you guys watch my video, if not, go check it out after. I had Duclair going to the Islanders. I think if they can create some space, we'll see. Adam Boqvist to the Blues. That's another good example. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously a younger example with a lot more potential. Boqvist being bought out by the Blue Jackets, it seems, so the Blues picking that up could be a good idea. Yeah, BJ, I think Zadorov's asking price is ridiculous. Apparently it's 5.5 plus. But again, I don't know what the term is on that. Like, I think if it's a longer term, I'm sure that per year goes down. So my prediction for Zadorov contract and what it would look like in Toronto, for example, was I believe I had it at 4 or 5 years, just over $5 million. So it's obviously pricey. But again, I think the perspective is instead of going after like a Seth Jones or a defenseman like that has a high price tag, you're going after like two defensemen that combine that overall AAV, which would be like a Zadorov and Tanev. I think that was Toronto's initial free agency plan, but I think they didn't realize Zadorov's asking price was going to get that high. So, yeah, that's tough. And Shelby, I think it's kind of short-sighted to say that Zadorov's just like a bottom pair guy. I think he's like the definition of like a 4-5 guy. So he can play top four. Maybe he's on the bottom pair, but there's a lot of guys that are like playing 4 or 5 spots that are making over $4 million. I think Zadorov's a bit more of a unique player because of his height and because of recently he's shown he plays well in the playoffs. Like, believe it or not, folks, playoff performances add value. Why do you think it drives me so much, like so nuts, when I feel Mitch Marner is not contributing in big moments and big games and still getting the paycheck? Like, sometimes there's extreme situations where they do the exact opposite, where like you react to a playoff performance and overpay, like a Troy Brouwer example. Like Troy Brouwer had an amazing playoff run, and then I believe it was the Blues that overpaid him. So there's examples of that, but I think there's a balance to that, right? Like that's why I was happy about the Domi signing, because he showed he played well in playoffs. Sure, not crazy production, but you're not expecting crazy production from a guy making $3.75 million per year. You're expecting crazy production from a guy making $11 million per year. So that's always the conversation. That's why what Domi and Bertuzzi did in the playoffs to their price tag, I'm fine with. It's the $11 million players that should have that higher expectation. And if you are not okay with that expectation, then just you're not making the money. It's like anything. It's like anything in this world. If you are getting paid for a job, if you're getting paid a lot more than your other colleagues, you're expected more responsibility. You're expected to do more. I think that's the same thing here. I don't know why it should be seen any differently. So, we'll see. Zeta, you have confirmation of that, or you're just assuming? Oh, shit. Dreger just said it. Wow. That's heartbreaking, bud. I like Zeta's idea here. I saw the Ross Colton idea. Wow. Guys, you want to see something so down bad? This is going to be really down bad, guys. Wow, that's crushing. Look at this tweet. I literally heard something from a buddy earlier that I was like, we were just shooting the shit. And just based on stuff he heard and just based on my opinion, I was like, man, there's no way they bring back both Bertuzzi or Robertson. Like, I was just thinking that after Domi signed, and I was just thinking about the cap picture and the roster picture, and like Cowan having a chance to make it this year, and who knows about Minton. I was like, man, there's no way Robertson and Bertuzzi re-sign with the team. And look at the tweet. Literally neither of them. How sad is that? Literally neither of them. F's in the chat, guys. That's sad. I wanted Bert to stay in Toronto, man. Damn. Wow. Guys, just sad face in the chat. I'm down. I'm in my down bad era. Damn, man. You know what? I was a Bert truther, man. So many people trash Bertuzzi. I was a Bert truther. Just absolute shit disturber, man. Perfect for playoffs. Perfect for this fan base. Like, I don't understand people that have watched this team for so long. Finds it appealing to watch what Mitch Marner does in the playoffs versus what Bertuzzi does. Like, maybe I'm just like old style hockey, but when Bert starts shit disturbing in front of the net and get into those corners, and I'm watching Mitch like hover by the face-off circle, crazy, man. Well, whoever gets Bertuzzi, good on ya. I know, stinging. Bertuzzi and Domi was so much fun to watch. I wonder if he considers going back to Detroit. Oh my God. Guys, I literally could see it. I could see Bertuzzi going back to Detroit. I know, no. All right, guys, comment down below your predictions for where Bertuzzi will land. So I think he could go back to Detroit. I think that makes a lot of sense. He's good buddies with Larkin. I could see the Blues, and I could see the Devils. Yeah. I could see Devils. I could see Blues. I could see Red Wings. Yeah. I frankly could see Nashville too. Oh my God. If Nashville if Nashville takes another guy from Toronto. I don't know, Blended. I probably would have given him 5 on the dot for a 4-year deal. Like, that exact number would have been my max. So if it's a lot more than over $5 million, then I guess I get it. But a 4-year deal, $5 million per year, I would have done it. I think Bertuzzi had an off year, and I still would take that. Like, you're telling me, just have this perspective for a second. David Kampf and Cal Yarncrow are almost $5 million combined. They're like 4.5 combined. And Bertuzzi for 5. I'm taking Bertuzzi 10 out of 10 times, not even thinking twice about it. Carolina could be interesting for Bertuzzi, actually. So, hey, Tyler, thank you so much for the 3. He says time for DeBrusque, I hope. Maybe. Definitely maybe. Wow. Crazy stuff. It seems like the Bertuzzi thing was always just kind of, they were focused on defense and they weren't going to budge. Yeah, I wonder about David Perron to Toronto, Zeta. That's a good point. I talked about David Perron. Anyways, we got 600 in the chat, guys. Hit that subscribe button, guys. Hit that like button. Appreciate all the support. No, it doesn't look like Tanev's going to get 3.75. It looks like it's going to be 5 at least. You can see Bertuzzi going back to Boston. Yeah, Perron might be cheap on a 2 or 3 year term. Maybe get him at 3.5. I could see that. I know Perron's pretty slow, so that's why he's going to come in cheaper. Was successful, obviously, under Berube. So maybe a 2 year deal at that 2 or 3. Yeah, no, Brad, something like that. Noah says defense was never the issue. They can't score though. I just don't get it. 1 or 2 puck moving D. That's it. Yeah, no, I don't know if this team's been truly evaluated properly. Like, I don't understand why you can't just look at it in like simple terms and just understand there hasn't been big goals scored in big moments outside of John Tavares scoring off of Darren Rash's skating in. Outside of that, who has scored big goals in big moments? Matthews? Yeah. Nylander? Yep. Tavares? A couple times. Morgan Riley? A couple times. Can someone tell me, has Mitch Marner ever scored a big goal in the playoffs? I recall like the game 4 against Florida. The elimination game, that's it. And that's not even that big of a goal. Like, you were down 3-0 in the series, and you scored like a seeing eye shot from the blue line. Please tell me, have you? I'm thinking out loud in my head. I'm like, wow, Austin Matthews, he scored some big goals, big games. Game 6s. Nylander, game 6s, game 7s. John Tavares, game 6s, game 7s. Morgan Riley, game 6s, game 7s. His junior goal versus Boston? What do you mean? Oh, the backhand goal in game 6? Yeah, I kind of forgot about that one. That one was back in, what, 2018, though? So, yeah, 2018 that happened. Yeah, I remember. I remember 2018 goal. I mean, I've said it. Mitch Marner from 2017 to 2019 was really good and good in the playoffs. So I should be more specific. In the last 6 years or last 5 years, has Mitch Marner scored a big goal? Oh, across. Yeah, but that was, again, wasn't that game 4? I'm talking like games 5, 6, and 7. Yeah, I wonder about Jeff Skinner. I actually think Jeff Skinner could sign with the Panthers. I actually think that's a good fit. Tanev's not officially signed yet. No. Wow, Pierre saying talk's still ongoing between Sam Reinhart's camp and the Cup champion Panthers. Told it's likely going right down to the wire on that one. Jeez, man, they're probably still drinking. I mean, I'll say this. I'm sure they already had an understanding of where they had to be at. So they have 2 hours, guys. They have 2 hours. If Sam Reinhart wants an 8-year deal with the Panthers, they have 2 hours. Yeah, Tanev to Toronto does seem like a lock. What's up, Mark? What's up, Morgan? What's up, Derek? Again, guys, thank you to everyone that's in here. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. It's good to have so many people in the chat. And we are 5 subscribers away from 52.1, so I appreciate that. And thank you for the dono so far. Nylander says, I want Brad to sign Stenlund tomorrow. Yeah, that'd be an all right fourth line option if they trade Kampf. Yeah, no, I think the reward is pretty high with Tanev, but yeah, for anything more than 4 years at that number, it's not good. Sad stuff, man. Yeah, Zeta, that's what I'm thinking. 2 to 3 years, like basically with his numbers, like Domi got 4 years, 3.75. I feel like Perron would probably be just at that or under that, so maybe between 3.5 to 3.75, depending on the. I could see it being 3.75 for 2 years, or like a little lower for 3 or 4 years. I don't think it'd be 4 years. So probably 3 years for Perron max. Michael says, "Oh, Liljegren. Yeah, you know what, guys? I'm not overly happy with the Liljegren one either, and this one just kind of. You know what? It's actually a perfect way to describe. And guys, in a second, I'll get off the Leaf talk. It's just like things have happened consecutively here. Like I was about to talk about the Stammer stuff and Gensel and KANE, but like look at all this stuff that's happened in the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes, frankly. I mean, I didn't even know this was going to happen when I go live, but that's how it goes sometimes. So Bertuzzi requesting or leaving, Robertson requesting a trade, and then, of course, the Tanev per year comes out. But anyways, what I was getting at is that this describes Leaf fans' experiences just in general. We're all like high and freaking excited about the Domi contract. This guy took a hometown discount. Like Dome is staying. All the fans getting fired up, and then you see the Tanev contract, or at least the Tanev AAV. Then you see the Nick Robertson requesting a trade. Then you see Bertuzzi won't be returning. Like it's like some sight of excitement or some sight of hope. Boom, boom, boom. Gut punches left and right. Crazy, man. Let's see. Paulo says Tanev can get 5 or 6 years. Who cares? He won't be playing those last 2 years. Yeah, but again, I think that's a different conversation. Yeah, Antonio, and I love that Bert's one of those guys, man. If he's on your team, you love him. If he's not on your team, you don't love him. Quite the opposite. Tanev is definitely a tough defender. I mean, he showed it this past playoff. So, again, guys, if you're upset about Tanev as an addition for this upcoming season, you're lost. If you're upset, probably the same way I might be upset, in the sense that 5 or 6 year deal for $5 million per year it's pretty crazy. Like Bertuzzi just got $5 million or $5.5 million for 1 year. No complaints from me whatsoever. There's no risk there. But at the same time, then it comes into this picture where it's like, you know what? People feel Bertuzzi earned that 5.5 million, and he's probably going to get that now at a 4-year term. I don't think a lot of fans wanted Bertuzzi at 5.5 million over 4 or 5 years. I have a bit of a different perspective on Bertuzzi. I think he brings a different element that this team needs, but clearly other people disagree. I also think it's a huge issue when a different forward on the same team makes double that and doesn't bring that level in the right moments. So, Tay's in the chat. Big shout. Derek says, can you tell me what you mean by seeing... Oh, yeah, I can pull it up. Well, that's the news so far. My guy Evan, go follow Evan. This is my alt account. But Leafs preparing offer in the ballpark of $5 million a season for pending unrestricted free agent Chris Tanev. So we're thinking it's $5 million. I said it'd be a problem if it's over 4 years, but the reported number of years from Friedman earlier was 6 years. So I think it's unbelievable if that's the contract. $5 million per year for 6 years. That's ridiculous. I hope that's not the case. But the rumor was more specific to say that they were trying to spread it out for 6 years, and that was what they were offering minimum, to spread it out closer to $4 million per year. So as I said earlier, but for people that are just joining, I said maybe there was a conversation that happened today where they're like, we don't want that number to be down. Knock a couple years off the board and just give us the $5 million per year. Because in that perspective, maybe they just get the $5 million per year, and then Tanev's still signing like 1-year deals at 37, 38, 39. I don't know. I'm just trying to like find the other perspective on it. So maybe it's 4 years, $5 million per year. Again, I think at that number, it would make more sense to just do the 6, but maybe Toronto was never offering that. What's up, Josh? Oh, yeah, 100%. 6 years is crazy. Johnny, he's talking about the end of the contract. A 6-year deal for Tanev would result him. He's basically 40 at the point of the end of the contract. So, anyways. All right, guys. I'll be right back. I'm just going to get a drink of water. But right now in the chat, we got 730 people in here. I thank you so much. I want to keep going with how many people are in here, so I literally will be 20 seconds. But in the chat right now, and I'll come back and review the chat, with all this news on the board, give me the best move and the worst move. All right? In the chat right now, based on all this stuff on the board right now, give me your best move and worst move. I'll be right back. 20 seconds. All right. Let's see. Nylander for Hart says best Gensel to Tampa, worst Jersey extension. Purple says Sergachev the best. Utah deal. Yeah, most people are saying the Sergachev deal. Yeah, Darkness. I'm curious, guys. There's a couple Blues fans in the chat. Jose says Tanev. Yeah, we'll be 35. What do you guys think about the perspective on the Blues trade? Like, yeah, they are not considered like a good playoff team right now. I would say in most people's eyes, and they dumped Hayes with a pick. Not just like a mid pick, like a second round pick to get rid of him. What's up, Christian? Pop. A says, need to know the KANE dollars. KANE, Stammer, and Bertuzzi. I could see Bertuzzi going back to Detroit now. But I don't think they bring back... Like, I don't think they bring in Stammer and Bertuzzi. So I think if the Red Wings miss out on Stammer, I could see them getting Bert. Frig, man. I actually crushed, man. I was such a Bert truther, guys. I'm down bad. I know, Richard, but that's just so tough, man. They could have just signed like a veteran. But yeah, Bolduc, Dean, Blues fans and any fans, frankly, in the chat. Do you guys think Dvorsky's going to play for the Blues this upcoming season? Let me know in the chat. Blues goalie? I think Binner's going to stay. Clyde says, hey, Johnny, you just joined the stream recently. What's your opinion on Lily? I don't think it's crazy off of what I thought it was going to be. I'm pretty sure, like, in the off season when I was making my Leaf, like, moves videos, prediction stuff, and just talking with friends, like, I'm pretty sure I said 2.5 for Liljegren over, like, a 2 or 3 year span. So he ended up getting $3 million per year for 2 years. I thought it'd be 2.5. So it's really hard to, like, get crazy bent over, like, $500K, but at the same time, I just feel like it does look different. Like, once you get to the $3 million, I feel like there's certain thresholds. Again, we're having that conversation again, but I feel like when, like, Kerfoot, for example, that was always a reference for me. Like, if Kerfoot was making 2 to 2.5 playing like he was, I'm kind of feeling whatever about it. But like he was making 3.5, and I just felt like he wasn't enough of a contributor. And that's how I feel with Liljegren. I'm like, you know what? The guy's like been scratched in playoff games. Like even the Justin Hall thing. Like Justin Hall was making $2 million, so it was kind of like you're not happy with him, but it's like he's kind of making what you expect. And then he gets scratched, and then the Red Wings still somehow pay him. Like I don't understand how right shot defenseman. I get it, unicorns of the league, all that, fine. But it really concerns me when a guy like Brad Treliving at the draft, after the Danford selection, and again, I'm not hating on the selection, but Treliving gets asked about it, and like one of his main reasoning is like he's a right shot defenseman. They're hard to find. It's like you shouldn't be evaluating a player that on your team specifically because he's right shot. Like Tanev works out. He's right shot. That's why the value's higher here, because he's the perfect type of defenseman to be with Riley, and him being a right shot defenseman is huge value. But you're basically saying that like you're keeping Liljegren because of his handness. Like there's going to be a lot of mistakes. He might get scratched in the playoffs, but he's right shot, so we got to give him $3 million. Like that's ridiculous, man. And again, I think the perspective is also flawed because Connor Timmins makes $1.1 million going into next season. And I really think that if you're signing Liljegren and not actually flipping him, like you have two guys you don't trust in big situations. So it makes me think that if they're not trading Liljegren, they might trade Timmins. Like I don't think you keep both those guys. And if you do, that means that you're definitely guaranteeing that Liljegren has to play top 4 minutes, season and playoffs, because at the end of the day, it'll be Riley Tanev, then it'll probably be McCabe, Liljegren. More likely than not. Again, unless you trade Timmins. Then Liljegren could slide to the bottom pair. You go McCabe, Benoit, then you're laughing. But it's still not a good top 4. Hank, the Tanev signing might not get announced until tomorrow. But apparently it's agreed upon. Yeah, weird one. All right, I have a funny question for chat. If you're the Leafs or, frankly, any team in the league, who would you rather bring in on a league minimum deal? Jack Campbell or Matt Murray? I want to see it in the chat. Jack Campbell or Matt Murray at league minimum? Let's see what chat's got to say. That's a funny debate right there. Ooh, this is pretty split, actually. Honestly, I thought a lot more people would say Murray. A lot of people are saying Campbell. You know what? Murray could make some stops. He just couldn't stay healthy. Campbell, like, for the last couple seasons, guy can't even stop a beach ball. A lot of people are just, like, reminiscing about the soup days. Brendan, I love Jack Campbell, man. I love Jack Campbell, but I'm just talking facts on what we've been witnessing. Basically none of the above, just rock with Martin Jones. Mo says Lily is way better than Hall. He got injured by cheap shot Marchand. That's why he struggled. I mean, I also think Liljegren and Hall are very different players, guys. I don't think they're comparable at all. Like, their liabilities are very different. Liljegren's liabilities is he's high risk with his, like, decision making with the puck. Giveaways, he can lose the puck. Gets caught in bad situations, and frankly, Hall did get caught in bad situations. He would always pinch in and be lost. But Liljegren's was like he overcommits and like is skating like a madman, where Hall just has no mobility, so he falls over. But where Hall like really gets exposed, where Liljegren will never get exposed, is like transitionally, defensively or transition at all. Like Liljegren can pivot. He's a lot more smoother on his skating, like night and day. And I think if a guy does beat him on the outside, there's a chance Liljegren comes back. Versus Hall, there is no chance. The amount of times I've seen Hall get burnt and like for the other team entering the Leaf zone, too many times to count. Where Liljegren at least can recover in that sense. But so many mistakes, man. So many mistakes with the puck. Yeah, I agree that the Jake Wallman trade will probably make some sense tomorrow. I think the Red Wings are going to make some big signings. To me, it's really hard to predict, but now with Bertuzzi not coming back, I think it's going to be Bertuzzi or Stammer. I think they're going to go all in on one of those two guys. And then also bring back Patrick Kane. Whoever's asking, Rad, I'll be live for most of the day tomorrow. Hope to see you in the live stream tomorrow. It's always bumping on this channel. Like, guys, keep in mind, we have almost 700 people in the chat the night before. Are you guys ready for the chaos tomorrow? I gotta get the coffee going. I gotta get just rowdy. We're gonna be rowdy tomorrow. Yeah, even earlier than that. Cat Friendly will still be running tomorrow. Yep. My prediction on what the Flames are going to do, I think they're going to go after DeBrusk and Duclair as middle six guys. I wonder if they're a player for Bertuzzi. That's another team that I'd be curious about. Imagine that's a punt punch. That's a gut punch to Trey Living if Bertuzzi gets stolen by Calgary. Well, Josh, it's because it's what I do, man. Like, I think that's why when people, like, want the genuine side of me, I'm obviously going to show my fandom on this channel. So, like, a lot of people have said to me in the past, and I've thought about it, is, like, I separate one channel just as, like, Leaf content, and then one channel as all hockey content, and I feel like that's just not me as a person. Like, I'm a huge fan of the team, but at the same time, I'm also a huge hockey fan across the board. Like, a lot of people sometimes are surprised by my knowledge across the league, because they're just going, oh, another Leaf fan. Like any fan, you're focused on your team. Like, I know so many Leaf fans that are just so focused on the Leafs. If I have a conversation with them, they have no freaking clue what's happening across the league. And that's the same for so many other fans. But, like, for me, I'm not really, I don't really think I'm defined by that. I think I'm a huge, huge fan of my team. But also, like, I cover the whole league. I know every player. I know everything going on for the most part when I'm able to pay attention. So, that's kind of why I have all those jerseys. Because even when I go, like, whether it's on here or cover games, like, I want to have, like, the representation. Yeah, Rad. Earlier than that, too, maybe. Justin says, why are you fronting on Hot Take, bro? Loves hockey, but a massive Leaf fan. Nah, I'm chilling. Yo, Justin, I appreciate you having my back. We're chill, though. Prediction for the Leafs replacement of Bert. I think the DeBrusk is a reach, but I think it's probably a target for them. I think he's going to try to go out west. The next one after that would be David Perron. I think there's a lot of things that could point to Perron to Toronto. I think they want guys that have a bit of an edge and can play in the playoffs. Perron checks those boxes. And obviously he played well under Berube, had success with Berube. So I think Perron's the next one after that. And I'm sure, Paulo, I'm sure they're going to try to talk to guys like a Toffoli as well. I don't know if Toffoli would come here, but Robertson to Chicago, I could see it. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Well, I hope to see you tomorrow. Derry, it looks like I'm sitting in the closet. I guess, yeah, from, like, the smaller angle. Yeah. What is the ask for DeBrusk? The rumors have suggested it's around same as Bertuzzi or a little less. So between 4.5 and 5.5 is the DeBrusk ask, I think. Let's see. Old Fashioned says, is it solid Bert isn't returning? Couldn't this be speculation from Drager, or was this 100% confirmed? I don't think it's just a Drager thing. There was, like, a couple different reports now that he's not coming back. Let's see. Like, Pierre LeBrun retweeted this, and Chris Johnson retweeted it. So, oh my God, if you went back to Boston, I'd be so pissed. Yo, Fluffy with the 5. I appreciate the dono. Says, what do you think Columbus will do now that Laine wants out? Will Johnny Hockey follow? Rumors that Tarasenko will go to Columbus. I don't know about the Tarasenko rumors. I haven't really heard that, but I'll say this. I think Columbus could go after Sean Monahan. I think they need a veteran center. Yeah, they should give Lindstrom time. I mean, we were just talking about stopgap. Like, I think Monahan would be a much better stopgap than a guy like Kevin Hayes. No disrespect to Kevin Hayes at all. I'm just saying that I think Sean Monahan, there's a couple reasons. I think he's like a very balanced center, can do a bit of everything. Knows Johnny Hockey, knows Johnny Gaudreau. That's maybe a chance for Johnny Gaudreau to get comfortable and maybe have a bounce back season in Columbus. And I think they just might go after a veteran center. Columbus past that, I could see them going for like a middle six guy. So I said if Don Waddell wants to get one of his guys from Carolina, it'd be like a Stefan Nason or a Jordan Martinook. And then on the defensive side, I don't know if they add anyone. I mean, they're going to move on obviously here from Boquist and Jake Bean. So maybe they go after a veteran defenseman. But Columbus is going to be a weird one. I think they'll probably just try to make the Laine trade, get a return there, and then maybe sign one of those guys I just mentioned. But defense, I think they'd have to move Provorov to consider signing a top 4 D-man, which there's been rumors to say they might trade Provorov. And then obviously Werenski is going to be your guy on the left side. So after that, it's just a matter of maybe they sign someone if they move Provorov. Let's see. Gordon says, great signing. Hang on to Robertson. 14 goals in 57 games with limited ice time as a steal at around 1.5 mil, which is what his qualifying offer would be. Yeah, Gordon, I mean, if the Leafs really want to make it difficult on him, they could literally just say back and be like, okay, you're not playing for us. Okay, we're not signing you. And again, I'm not saying that's what they should do. So James Nichols saying the Devils haven't shown interest, but that could change. But yeah, I mean, since they qualified him, they can just hold out, and then either a team has to offer sheet him or he just doesn't play. Like, damn, Chris Johnson. That was literally like a couple days ago. Tough. We got 600 in the chat. So I wonder if Toronto is going to call Winnipeg for a trade. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think Winnipeg and Anaheim makes sense for Toronto to be trade partners right now, if it's not including Marner. I think if it's a different conversation. If Marner is in these talks, then I could list a few teams. But I think in non-Marner trades, Winnipeg and Anaheim are 2 trade partners I could see for Toronto. But hey, guys, if you guys want me to talk about something else, drop it in the comments. I'm going to read some more comments, and then I'm going to maybe talk about it further if you guys want me to get into it. Robertson to Nashville for Fabro. That's interesting, but... Yeah, Rain says, I think McGroarty to Toronto is very possible. Obviously, the price is going to be steep, but Minton, Robertson in a second is definitely a possibility. That's what I was kind of thinking. I think that's a good starting point. Winnipeg gets a draft pick that they want out of it. They get potential top 6 to top 9 forward there, and they also get potential top 6 scorer in Robertson. Fluffy with the 5. Thank you so much for the dono. Says, does Yzerman sign Stamkos in Detroit, and what other moves does Detroit to do? Oh my God, can't speak. Do to be a playoff team. I'm from Detroit, but a Ducks and Blue Jackets fan. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Fluffy. I was saying earlier, I think they signed 2 of Stammer, Bertuzzi, KANE, and it looks like they're about to sign KANE, so I think they're going to go heavy after Bertuzzi and Stammer with the cap space they have. So look out for Detroit to get one of those guys. I think it makes a lot of sense. The only chance I see that not happening is if they regroup with Perron, but I still think they want to upgrade in their top 6. So I think Bertuzzi and Stammer does that. Yeah, Brad. Logan Thompson was a huge get by Washington. Thoughts on the decor, Josh? I don't hate it if Tanev's there, but I'm also kind of like the same going back to last season. Like, I don't. To me, I was more on the vibe that the Leafs couldn't score in the playoffs, which showed to be true again. So when they signed Bertuzzi, signed Domi, I was pretty stoked about that. Less concerned about the defense core. I do see the merit where it's like defense can also lead to offense. And that's where I'm like, I wonder if they still have a conversation with a guy like Brandon Montour tomorrow. But it's going to be interesting. We're at 10:15, guys. Teams have an hour and 40-ish. Like, the Florida Panthers have been partying it up, but you would think you're going to get a Reinhardt extension tonight. Kadri back to Toronto. I know Craig Button suggested that, and a lot of people went crazy. Purdy, thank you so much for the 5. Hey, thank you so much for the donos, guys. I thought teams were not allowed to... Whoa, okay, let me read this. So Purdy... Well, yes and no. Like, I've talked about this. So thank you so much for the dono and the question. Like, the Leafs traded for Tanev's rights. The Lightning traded for Gensel's rights. So, like, those are a lot more, like, cut and dry, very simple. They can talk to them like they already had them, right? Versus these other conversations are very, I don't know, borderline from what I've heard, is that you'd have, like, I don't know, like some representation on the team talking to the agent just about, like, hypotheticals of, like, what their player's looking for, things like that, not actually negotiating. Again, it's very, like, on the border for me, but there's always those, like, conversations that happen through another person, through a middleman, and it just gets around like any rumor does, right? Like, it'd be the same as, like, how do you think these insiders get their information, right? It's like people that work for the team, then they talk, other people talk, then info gets around. So that's kind of how it goes, is like a lot of players and teams have an idea of who's interested in them and things like that. So when James, I don't know how he worded it, did he just say expressed interest? Yeah, so I'm told the Devils haven't shown interest in pending free agent Bertuzzi. That doesn't mean that they're, like, talking with him or negotiating with him. I mean, I could go out in the street right now and hopefully, I don't know, NHL players across the street and be like, wow, it'd be really nice to sign Bertuzzi to the Devils. Like, again, I'm being a smartass, but I'm just saying that, like, there's different ways to express interest in a player, and different people having an idea of what they want, what they're asking for, and then by the time tomorrow rolls around, both sides already know, and it can be like a quick 2-minute phone call, be like, boom, all right, agreed. So, what's up, Daniel? Alexander Carrier, I saw that he might be staying in Nashville. I thought he was gone, so a bit of a surprise for me, but that was more so just me following the insider info. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be a lot of fun. I honestly need a good sleep tonight, guys. I haven't stopped the last few weeks, pretty much. Cameron, as far as I know, I don't think the rules changed, but someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's just the 8-year thing. So if teams want to sign their guy to an 8-year deal, it just has to happen before. Who do I think the Canucks will sign? I said Laurent Brossoit maybe as a veteran goalie. I still think they're going to show interest in Brendan Dillon, but apparently Rick Dollywell thinks they're not going to get him. So that was my prediction, and it looks like Ian Cole and Zadorov are obviously testing the market. So I don't know who the Canucks are going after. I think internally they brought a lot of the guys they wanted back. Like, they brought, obviously they signed Hronek long-term. They brought back Tyler Myers. So when you look at it, the Canucks kind of have their top 4 in a way. Like, they can have Hronek, Quinn Hughes, and then Myers, Soucy as your second pair. So I could see them signing a left shot defenseman, Vancouver. So that's why I said Brendan Dillon. Maybe they revisit Ian Cole. Maybe they look at like a Kulikov, for example. That could be another option. But yeah, forwards, I mean, again, they brought back the guys they want. They brought back Bluber. They brought back Teddy Bluger. They brought back Dakota Joshua. So we'll see. See, when you guys know I'm like struggling to say players' names, you know I'm tired. Oh, there you go. Official. Official, guys. Patrick Kane to a 1-year contract. There you go, guys. And Freeman's got it. I was correct. I said $3 to $4 million. So $4 million base. Wow. So they put heavy bonuses on it. So it's going to be like a carryover, kind of like the Connor Brown contract, kind of like the was it the Brad Marchand? Or sorry, it was the Patrice Bergeron actually. So it's going to be $4 million. And 2.5 in bonus. Potentially. Interesting, guys. So Patrick Kane officially staying with the Red Wings. What do you guys think, guys? Grade that in the chat. All right. Clyde says B+, Morgan says B+, Tyler says A+, Victor C, Sir says A. Crazy stuff, guys. All right. Yeah, let's do a poll. That'd be fun. All right, I'll put a poll in the chat, guys, and you guys give me your prediction on who's the other player the Red Wings are going to sign, all right? All right, let's see. All right, I'll put like 4. All right, guys, drop your comments in the chat, but vote on the poll. Get your votes going in the poll, guys. Most people are saying Stammer right now. John Viveiros is who they're signing. Yeah, Jason, man. Subscribe. Big subscribe. If you subscribe to the channel, it supports the channel, and then maybe I'll move out of the closet, you know? Maybe I can move into a bigger studio. You never know. No, it looks deceiving. It's not a bad size for a setup. Yo, guys, we're 2 subscribers away from 52.1. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. I knew someone was going to comment something like that. Strange says, how much is Sider and Raymond going to cost? I think Raymond's going to be around 6, maybe. Jason, you are subscribed, and you've never seen this setup before? I know, Josh. I took a tough L on that one. Yo, my guy Dave just subscribed. Let's get some Jason and Dave hype in the chat. Jason, let me know where you're watching from. Rod, I don't know. I said, by 10, I will definitely be live, if that's what you're asking me. So it might be earlier than that. All you got to do is keep your notifications on or check in the morning when you're up. Thanks, Dat. Thanks, Maple Leaf. Is Bert going to Western team? All right, couple notes from Saravelli's hit on Sportsnet moments ago. Thinks the deal with Tanev will get done in relatively short order. Bertuzzi's bouncing. Expects him to sign with a Western Conference team. Wow, I wonder what Western... So, not Eastern... So, he won't go to Detroit? Western Conference. Imagine Bertuzzi goes to Vancouver. Expects the Leafs to make a significant play for Anthony Stolarz. That's what I said. That was my prediction in my video. And all's quiet on the Mitch Marner trade front. Nashville or LA for Bertuzzi? Yeah, I could see Nashville. I definitely could see Nashville. Man, I am in shambles, man. Frig. It was fun watching Bertuzzi, man. Crazy stuff. We got 630 in the chat. Thank you to everyone that just hit that subscribe button, guys. Let's go. We passed 52.1K. You guys are amazing. Thanks for being here. Notifications didn't even go out for a lot of people, so that's huge. Hey, Salty. Good to see you. Yeah, Ben Danford. I don't mind his game. I kind of had to, refresh my memory. I watched, a few Oshawa Generals games this past season, and I remember watching them, but, now that he's been selected by the Leafs, I'm like, damn, I should have obviously I wish I focused more on his game, but I remember watching him. I mean, he definitely was one of the better defensemen. I think the other guy was it Morelli or I forget. They had two decent defensemen. And obviously, well, I should say more than two decent. They went on their run, but yeah, I think Vancouver's going to make a play now for Toffoli and Bertuzzi. I think that makes sense. Vancouver's talked about adding one more top six forward, so either bringing back Lindholm or getting one of those guys. But yeah, I think Lindholm's going to the Eastern Conference, guys, and I think he's going to Boston. I would be curious for Trey Living to make a play for Lindholm, but I don't think it's happening. But Lindholm, yeah, don't get me wrong, that'd be huge. That would definitely allow you to shift Tavares to the wing if you got Lindholm. Hey, Andrew, what's up, man? Good to see you in the chat. Absolute disaster, man. Absolute disaster. So, I'm down bad. Marner and Lilly for Askarov, Fabro, and a couple picks. Get Evangelista in there, and then maybe. But yeah, I'm down bad. So to recap for everyone that's missed it. Let's scroll down here. Little summary on everything that's happened for the Leafs. So Nick Alberga, good summary. So thinks the deal with Tanev will get done in relative short order from Saravelli. I'm thinking if it's the $5 million per year, hopefully it's not the 6-year term. We'll see. Bertuzzi's leaving. That was reported from Darren Dreger, retweeted by LeBrun Johnson. Sarah Valley now confirming that Bertuzzi is going to a Western Conference team most likely. I thought maybe a team like Detroit could make a play to get him back, but it seems like a Western Conference team. I could name a bunch of candidates. You can go from Nashville, St. Louis, Vancouver. There's probably a lot of options out there. LA. But yeah, definitely interesting. The Patrick Kane, obviously. But Tyler Bertuzzi, see this shouting it out. Then I wonder New Jersey as a fit. But again, if it's a Western Conference team for sure, then obviously not. And then the Nick Robertson news, guys, was also pretty shocking. So Nick Robertson, article here, potentially played his last. And I tweeted this earlier. Very likely one of these guys will not be a Leaf next season. I hope it's not the case. Neither of them. So this was the official report from Chris Johnson on Nick Robertson, retweeted by a lot of people, confirmed. Sources say that RFA Nick Robertson has no plans to re-sign with the Leafs this summer and has informed the team that he would like to be traded. Again, a lot of the reasoning on that is from him being tossed up and down from NHL team to AHL team. He didn't require waivers, so that was probably annoying. Obviously, he hasn't had the best injury luck with Toronto. And, of course, just the line shuffling with Sheldon Keefe, right? Like, Nick Robertson would find himself in the fourth line. Then he'd find himself in the press box. Nick Robertson scores a goal. Then you scratch him. Then he scores again. Then you scratch him. Then he scores again. Then you scratch him. Like, I think Nick Robertson was, like, getting to the point where it's like, I'm actually contributing. I'm actually scoring. Just put me on with one good line mate, whether it was Matthews, whether it was Domi, whether it was Matthew Nyes. Like, when he had the consistency, he scored and he made a difference. He's only 22 years old, guys. And the fact that people are just, people hate on the guy because he's undersized. But at the end of the day, 22 years old, you could probably get him at like $1.5 million this offseason. And that's exactly what you need for a team that's cap strapped. And Nick Robertson was averaging like stupid low ice time numbers, like averaging like 11, 12, 13 minutes a night. And he still scored 14 goals in like 60 something games. Like, with a little bit more ice time, playing an 82 game season, that's a 20 plus goal scorer right there. And he's only 22. So this one is really frustrating. I had that conversation and I had it in my head that goes, you're probably not keeping both Bertuzzi or Robertson because you need to give one of those guys legit minutes. And if Bertuzzi's there, Robertson's not getting it. If Robertson's there, maybe Bertuzzi's still getting it, which is kind of my point in what I'm saying. You can't have Robertson and Bertuzzi with the signings. You brought back Domi. You have Marner, Nylander. Like, if you're keeping Marner, then I knew it wasn't possible. So the fact that you're losing both is such a gut punch. And, I mean, it just shows that the culture here, like Mitch Marner taking like $11 million currently, maybe a lot more with his next contract. Like, it's ridiculous. I think Bertuzzi was finally getting used to this team. And I also think Nick Robertson showed for the first time that even with limited ice time, he can score at that rate. And Keefe just wasn't giving that consistent, like, range, consistent stretch of games. I'd have to look into it, but I just didn't see a stretch of games where Nick Robertson, like, wasn't scratched or sent down once. So, yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments, but that's kind of the summary. Leafs looking to overpay on Chris Tanev. Looks really good right now. Not going to be good probably down the line. If Tanev can be at least even 80-90% of what he was for Dallas in the playoffs and Vancouver in recent memory, then you're happy. But then losing Nick Robertson, potentially, he doesn't want to come back, and then losing Tyler Bertuzzi. Classic Leaf fandom experience. You have all the highs of that great hometown discount Domi contract to all the things to follow. What a night to be part of Leaf Nation. So that's kind of the good summary there. No, I'm with you, Noah. Andrew, that's a crazy take. You're talking about Gretzky and Curry. Like, are you talking about like the same situation here? Defenseman Oliver Ekman-Larsson is hitting the free agent market tomorrow. I mean, I predicted the Bertuzzi and Domi signings last year because I just thought they were perfect fits. I thought it would make sense, and I thought Trey Living would come in and do exactly that. So I'm surprised he didn't prioritize bringing those guys back. And I honestly thought Marner could still get traded, guys. Like, I'd have to look at it, but I remember the Tkachuk, like everyone wants these trades to happen on draft and free agency. Like, I feel like they either happen before, usually, the draft, or it happens, like, a few weeks after free agency starts. So, like, even NBA, like, I feel like those big trades happen, like, mid-late July. I'm going to see. We'll wait and see. I think losing Bertuzzi, though, is tough. And if you lose Robertson, too. Ken says, hey, Stamkos, please come to Buffalo. All right, guys, let's play a fun game in the chat. Whoever you're a fan of, let us know in the chat. If you had to say, dear someone, sign with my team, who is it? So if you're a Blues fan, go, dear DeBrusque, sign with my Blues. I want to see it in the chat. As a fan of your team, who do you want most on your team starting tomorrow? Who do you want your team to sign? Let's see. Jake says, I like Perron and DeBrusque. Could be a solid replacement for Bert. Andrew says, problem is the Leafs need to... Holy shit, chat's buzzing. Need to do their work in free agency. If you wait weeks to trade Marner, how are you replacing him? Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I mean, they have the space, right? Like, you could make a big signing. But I'm with you on that because I think, yeah, if you make the big signing, even with the space, then you're kind of losing your leverage with the team in a trade. Like, it's almost like you... Yeah, we'll see. At that point, it's almost like you have to bring less back in the Marner trade if you commit your cap tomorrow and not trade him. So, anyways, the dream for some fans is Stammer comes home, but frig, man, that'd be such a slap in the face. Either one of two things. Stammer signing with Carolina would be hilarious for just like the shit with Gensel, or to Toronto would be hilarious. I don't think that happens though. I think Stammer. I think actually there's a lot of guys that could sign with Nashville tomorrow. Like I'm just thinking Nashville's situation, their money they could spend. I feel like they're a good destination for players. Like I'm thinking Stamkos, I'm thinking Brady Shea, I'm thinking Tyler Bertuzzi, I'm thinking Chandler Stevenson. Like all those guys could be like a Nashville target for tomorrow. But yeah, Brett Pesce is like 99% going to sign with New Jersey, I think. I think the rumors suggested. I think they wouldn't have made that Marino trade unless they were getting that right shot guy they want, and all the signs have pointed towards this Pesce. What happened to all the Trouba talk? Apparently, Mr. Jacob Trouba is... I don't know how this is possible because I thought he had to submit the list, but... Apparently, like, he's sitting... Like, I don't know if the Rangers are just respecting Trouba, like, if Drury's just having too much respect for him, but, like, apparently they had, like, a deal in place, or at least a structure of a deal, and Trouba's being difficult. Which, again, I think if he has, like, a modified no-trade clause, it's 15 teams, like, you're from Detroit. I don't know how he would say no to Detroit. But there was also a rumor saying that Trouba has all the teams he think he could get traded to. Like, I don't know. There's something weird going on with that Trouba situation, I can tell you that. Let's see. Well, Maverick, I'll put it this way. I think Domi's the better option in terms of the value. Like, I think the fact that Domi's getting back at 3.75 versus like Bertuzzi over 5. I definitely see the perspective there, but at the same time, like Bertuzzi brings something different than Domi. They're both shit disturbers in their own way, but you trade Robertson for Brandon Tanev and a pick? I wouldn't mind that, but I'd want like Yarncrow or Kampf's contract going back the other way. Or make sure those guys are being cleared. Nick Robertson for Jack McBain. That one's interesting, actually. I'm not a huge McBain guy, though. Like, I think the value on that's okay, and I think that'd be like a move that Trey Living would make. I wouldn't hate that, but I'm also not a huge McBain fan, but I can see it with the size. Hi, Maria. Yes, I'll be live all day tomorrow, guys. I hope if you're in this live stream, you'll be here tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a great turnout for this live stream. I didn't even like market it or announce too much, but yeah. I didn't really do like an official reaction to like Liljegren, but I don't know. I'll probably just do like a Leaf recap. But yeah, the Liljegren signing is what started it all. I kind of forgot to bring that up. Yeah, Nyes is great. Ghetto, I appreciate that. 7, what's up? Yeah, Alexander Carey is probably staying in Nashville. Yeah, Blue Jays. I think it's ridiculous to have almost $5 million committed to Kampf and Yarncrow. Like, this is where I'm just saying it's just frustrating because it's like BERTUZZI is basically that combined. A little bit more, but still. I'm taking BERTUZZI over those two guys 10 times. No debate. Sucks. All right. Some of these trade suggestions are okay. Phil, give your own trade suggestion then. Come on. Oh my god. All right. OEL on Pittsburgh feels right. I don't know about that. Whoa, Josh. Yeah, Rick, that would be fun. I was kind of bringing that up earlier. I was like, you know what? Here's the situation. If Nick Robertson doesn't want to be in Toronto, I'm sure a team would give up at least a 3rd-round pick for him. So maybe it's just a matter of you doing something like that, which sucks. It really sucks. Like, I feel like Nick Robertson was such a steal in the draft. But if you can get like a 3rd and 4th, or even like I said, combine it with Liljegren, get a 2nd and 3rd for those two guys. I feel like a team would do that. Get a 2nd and 3rd for Liljegren, Robertson, call it a day, hit the reset button with those two. I mean, it's getting close to that point, man. Especially with Robertson now wanting a trade. Victor Arvidsson could be an underrated ad, yeah. Oh shit, so they didn't qualify Sam Steele, but it seems like Sam Steele's still going to return to Dallas. Big Greg says, as a Bruins fan, I feel like there's a lot of smoke and mirrors going on. We need to hit some home runs and can't afford to miss. I think the Bruins might get Zadorov. If the Leafs are not willing to pay the price, I think the Bruins might get him. And then Canucks and Leafs fans will both hate that. Alex, thanks for being here. Good evening, John. Do you know how much Toronto has in cap space going to July 1? I'd have to check. Like, obviously, they just signed Liljegren and Domi, so I haven't really checked since those contracts. And obviously, they're about to sign Tanev. Well, not obviously, we'll see. It looks likely. So after they sign Tanev to the expected $5 million number, they'll have 11 forwards, 7 defensemen. They'll probably send down Cade Weber, but with 7 defensemen and 11 forwards and 1 goalie, they'll have about $8 million or $7 million of cap space probably. So they'll have $7 million of cap space to probably sign, like, at that point, like, 1 more forward and 1 more defenseman. So you'll probably send down Cade Weber. Then the conversation would be, are you going to trade one of Liljegren or Timmins? Chances are it might be Timmins. So you sign another defenseman. I would guess if it's one of those guys after Zadorov, it'd probably be like for $4 million. Then you go from $7 million to $4 million cap space, and you probably sign a middle six guy. So that's why I said that the option or the intriguing option would be a David Perron. If I had to make a prediction based on the latest news we got, like, I thought it was going to be you bring back Bertuzzi and you sign Zadorov. Now I'm thinking it's probably going to be like a sign of David Perron to cheaper, like $3.5 million per, and then signing. I know they had interest in like Sean Walker. Maybe they look at like a Brendan Dillon or a Kulikov. Like, you're definitely going to the next tier of defenseman after Zadorov. So tough to say. But yeah, as to be expected, Patrick Kane's new 1-year contract with Detroit includes a full no trade clause. Yep, no, I know. I know Houston Count has a good shot at making the team. J-Dub, yeah. The player can waive it. Sandy says they could use Robertson as a sweetener to trade Camp for Yarncrow. I could see a Yarncrow and Robertson deal to Nashville or something like that. Oh yeah, Gordon, that's what I'm getting at. Like, the $3 million for Liljegren is crazy. Yeah. Sad stuff, man. So Aaron Portsline just reported that former Columbus Blue Jacket Ryan Murray, the number 2 overall pick in 2012, hopes to sign a PTO with an NHL team this summer. Last played 13 games with the Oilers in 23. Won a cup with the Avs in 2022. So that would be interesting. Also, there's been rumors today, guys, that both the Islanders and Habs, I think there's some Bruins rumors as well, but the Islanders and Habs could look at an offer sheet for Shane Pinto. Imagine. That could be some drama. That definitely could be some major drama. What do you guys think? Should I do a sleeping stream, 24-hour stream? I know people are asking for it. We got still 600 people in here. You guys are awesome. Just having a good chill evening. How's everyone's weekend been? Let me know. ASMR stream. What's up, Ken Dog? HN, bring in Hart and Drewski. B. Murphy says, with Bertuzzi out, do the Leafs have any chance of landing Stammer? Nah, I don't think so. That'd be some dream shit, though. Free agency stress. Yeah, Jack, I mean, to trade with a division rival for Mitch Marner would have to be quite the overpay, I think. There you go, Zeta. That's what I love to hear, buddy. Attaboy. Yeah, Logan, I'm thinking OEL. I think both the Lightning and Leafs are going to talk to OEL tomorrow. B. Murphy says, thanks for answering my question. Most streamers just ignore my shit, so I'm a sub. Much love, bro. Yo, much love. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, thanks to everyone that's subscribing. I'm trying to read some comments. Michael says, with you guys study carefully, the Leafs have an extremely high chance to miss the playoffs. Whew, I don't know about that, but Camden, it varies. So I was giving the example earlier. I think it's like $4.5 million to $6.7 million is like a first and third, but we can pull it up. Let me pull it up for the chat. We have the 2022 one. Let's see. Offer sheet calculator on Cap Friendly, I think usually is accurate. Okay, here we go. Let me pull it up for the chat. All right, you guys can see that on the screen. Darkness, Bo, because I think Vladdy can carry more as a star. Bo is, yeah, Bo. Alex Nylander to the Leafs. I could see it. I was actually talking to the Blue Jays today, guys, about it. Like, I feel like the Vladdy Marner or the Vladdy Bo dynamic is similar to the Matthews Marner, but dynamic a little bit. Anyways, guys, hopefully you see this. So, offer sheets. So basically with offer sheets, guys, restricted free agent versus unrestricted free agent. If you're trying to assign a restricted free agent and the player accepts the deal, the team has an opportunity to match the contract. So this is the compensation if they would not match the contract and the team gets the player. So 1 to 1.5 million, no compensation. 1.5 to 2.2 is a third round pick. 2.29 to 4.5 ish is a second round pick. And see, I was right. 4.5 ish to 6.87 is a first and third. 6.8 to 9.1 is a first, a second, and third. 9.1 to 11.4 is 2 firsts, a second, and third. And then over 11.45 is 4 first-round picks. So what I was saying is that for a team to really like put like another team in a bad spot, like if it was like a star player, you want to try to sign them to that upper threshold just before it gets into the next one. So like the ideal spot that I was talking about is like here for Pinto. So if in your head you think like Pinto is a top 6 forward, if you're a contending team, you should be willing to do this at the bare minimum. So if you're not worried to ruffle feathers with the Sens management, just offer Pinto 6.87 on the dot. And then Ottawa's in a tough spot. And then if you're really like, if you're a Utah or you're like a team that has so many draft picks and you're confident handing Pinto $8 million per year, I don't know if Ottawa's matching that. Let's see. Utah wants to change their name to the Kings. What? Jack says, I hope the Canucks pick up Campbell at League Min. That could be a potential. All right. Is this what I was just talking about? Yeah, B. Murphy. Tomorrow will be an interesting day. I know, Jason. It's crazy. Like, if they don't trade Mitch this offseason, it's going to be crazy stuff. Okay, that makes sense. So, guys, for the Patrick Kane contract, they can go this year or next. Thank you, Adam. Let's see. So of note on Patrick Kane, this is the first summer in the last 5 years where he's training like an athlete, trying to make gains, not one rehabbing or managing injury issues. Would not be remotely surprising to see him cash all $2.5 million in bonuses on this new contract. Well, yeah, because now you think about it, it's like for Kane, if you can get Stamkos as well in Detroit, not to say that's going to happen, but that'd be really intriguing. Let me retweet this, guys. So Ryan Lomberg is likely leaving Florida. And it looks like OEL is probably leaving Florida as well. Right here. That's better. It's going to be absolute chaos. Tomorrow is going to be chaos. I already can tell. Yo, who's beefing who in the chat? Stick to gaming. Over under 3 trades tomorrow. Oof, trades. I could see 3 trades happening. I think it's more going to be the big signings, guys. Like, I think there's going to be, I mean, again, watch there be like 10 trades and I'm wrong, but I would say 3 trades is a good number. Like 2 or 3. I think there's going to be 2 or 3 sizable trades. And then it's just going to be a lot of signings. Like, I think the signings will be the chaotic part. There's a lot of free agents this year. And, like, now, like, a lot of big names. Like, I mean, Patrick Kane is all locked up, but, I mean, you look at, like, Stammer, Bertuzzi, Montour, Marchessault. Like, some years, like, there's only, like, middle 6 guys. because everyone gets locked up, but that's not really been the case. Like even Gensel, we think he's signed a long-term deal with Tampa, but there's no confirmation yet. Oh, Gordon, gotcha. Josh, you think you think I have the future prediction power? Raging, what are you talking about? Clickbait? I think what I put in my title is exactly what's happening here. Let's see. I said Red Wings signed Patrick Kane, Tyler Bertuzzi leaving. I mean, guys, is that clickbait? I think that's exactly what's happened. It's pretty crazy stuff. Yeah, I can't fix the depth, no cap space. So, Kevin. What's up, Caden? I know, Shelby. Oh, gotcha, J-Dub, gotcha. Should Leafs get Gibson? I wouldn't mind getting John Gibson. Again, if they get rid of some of these contracts like Kampf, Yarncrow, I wouldn't mind giving John Gibson a shot. But, like, there's been rumors that Gibson's, like, needing, like, a first-round pick and other pieces, and I'm like, no. What's up, Bolt? Clickbait hockey. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely worry that they're not going to trade Marner. I think there's going to be, all right, guys, over under 21 signings tomorrow. Over under. I'm saying over 21. Let's go. I think it's going to be chaotic tomorrow. I think all this shit's going to go down. All right, well, if there's going to be over 21 signings, then you guys better be here. No, I'm talking one-way contracts, Darkness. How many one-way contracts? None of that two-way. What's up, Kyle? Varner will be here. Let's go. Travis says, think Bert wants to go back to Detroit or Boston. Apparently he's going out west, guys. I guess if you're just joining, I can try to bring it up again. But apparently Bertuzzi's going out west. Let's see. Yeah. Those are some notes from Saravelli. Yeah, Darkness. I fully could see Bertuzzi going to Nashville. I would not be shocked if that's the case. It's probably my prediction at this point. Like Bertuzzi going to Nashville makes a lot of sense. Thanks, Travis. Yeah, Brad, if they could retain on Gibson, I think a package like that makes some sense for sure. Robertson, Kampf, and a couple draft picks. Yep. I could see something like that. Yeah, Gordon, I agree. I think they're going to add one more defenseman, and they'll add a backup goalie, and then maybe a middle six forward, as I said. That's where the rest of the money's going, guys. Like after the Tanev contract, they're going to have about $7 million left over. Say Stoltz gets 2. So it's going to either be a defenseman with the rest of their money or like a defenseman and forward split with that money. Or as I said, they could get like a Perron and a top 4 defenseman as long as they just trade one of Yarncrow or Kampf. Pinto to the Islanders, hopefully. I've heard some stuff around that. Brody to Pittsburgh. Yeah, that was my prediction. Brody and Amadio. Yeah, there's no need for politics. We're just talking hockey. Micah. Yeah, I think Carolina. Maybe they would give a pitch to Stammer. But I feel like Carolina... again, I think they're one of those teams that are going to talk to like those middle 6 guys. Like it sucks. They got to go for a trade. Like I want a team to be bold. Like Mitch Marner is available, guys. Carolina, Nashville, call up the Leafs. Have a conversation with Trey. I'm sure Carolina will also talk to Toffoli. That's another good name. Yeah, I've heard about Carolina and Winnipeg talking. I would dream about a blockbuster that would send Seth Jarvis and Martin Necas to Winnipeg, Nikolai Ehlers, Rutger McGroarty plus to Carolina. Imagine. Necas, Jarvis to Winnipeg, Ehlers, Rutger to Carolina. Oh, that would be crazy. Seth Jarvis, Winnipeg is his home team. Cam, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Yeah, Micah, that's the only reason I was making that hot take is not because I think Carolina's going to trade Jarvis. I don't think they will. Yeah, maybe Winnipeg would have to throw in Velarde on that. Guys, this was my prediction. LA Kings reunion with Tyler Toffoli makes sense as free agency opens. My guy Josh, you know I've been calling some good shit lately. The Bertuzzi one, I should have stuck with my original prediction. But, yeah, I was just trying to manifest that he's coming back. Yeah, Richard, the Sens need a lot of maneuvering. Yeah, Fly, I'm pretty sure Pesci's going to Carolina. Pesci's going to New Jersey. Sorry, from Carolina. Yes. But that's my expectation. Pesci to New Jersey. When do I start advertising for the trade deadline stream 2025? Man, I barely advertise for my streams now. But honestly, guys, I'm like really grateful. Like I mentioned a couple times I might go live tonight, but like I didn't really like post about it. I didn't really announce it today. I kind of just went live, and then like all you legends are just here. So W's in the chat for you guys. It's NHL free agency eve, along with the fact that for us Canadians, again, a lot of Americans in the chat, but it's Canada Day for us tomorrow. So happy Canada Day. But of course, free agency eve. What a great time with the hockey fans. W's in the chat. I want to see some dubs. Mike says, I'm guessing Reinhardt is going to want 11 mil. I don't know about that with the Panthers. It might be around 9.5. Hey, that's what I said, crazy dog. I said Monahan maybe to the Blue Jackets. George, what's up? Canuck says Hughes, Hronek, Zadorov, Myers, Susie, Juleson. I don't know if Zadorov's going back. It seems like he's not. I said their top 4 is going to be Hughes, Hronek, Susie, Myers. Then they'll sign a veteran to pair up with either Juleson or Friedman. Chris says Reinhardt only has 45 more minutes to sign the 8 years. Yeah, Micah. The free agency opens up officially at 12 tomorrow. Your predictions, the Sens don't do shit. What's up, Kyle? Yeah, Kyle Mercer. The depth will be thin for Tampa, but the top 6 will be nasty. Maybe Shane Gostisbehere to the Blues? My hot take was that maybe the Blues take a run at Matt Grzelcyk. Yeah, Anthony. I mean, the Liljegren contract, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it is only 2 years. I think they're hoping that Liljegren's entering his prime. I get it, but at the same time, you just got to commit to a decision with the player. Like, you're scratching him in the playoffs, but then signing him through $3 million per year. It's crazy, man. Crazy stuff. Any Stars rumors? I thought they could go after Stefan Nason. I think after losing out on Chris Tanev, I wonder if they go after a guy like Sean Walker or a Brandon Montour. There you go, Rich. Man, there's still a lot of people in here. Love it. Am I hearing anything on the Flames, Jared? Nothing too crazy. I think they're the two players they're probably gonna talk to tomorrow are Duclair and DeBrusk. I think those are two of the guys that Calgary are talking to, definitely Duclair and DeBrusk. Past that, it was like rumored that they were still going to talk to Shillington, but I don't know if that's going to happen. And then they might go after one of those low-risk, high-reward defensemen, like Columbus released or didn't qualify Jake Bean and are buying out Boquist, so I'm sure Calgary will look into those. Jake Bean one's is definitely interesting. Hurt, I'd be all over that at this point. Parker says, hey, Johnny, I'm a diehard Lightning fan and just curious, do you think there's a chance the Leafs lure Stamkos back home? I don't think so, but that'd be pretty cool. That'd be definitely pretty dope. I don't think it's happening, though, if you want my honest answer. Jake Bean sucks. Whoa. I mean, league minimum for a bottom pair role is what I'm getting at. I don't think Calgary's going full tank mode. I actually don't. Like, I think they have enough depth. They have an okay defense core, and like I think Dustin Wolf is going to be good. I don't think Calgary's going to be a playoff team, but I don't know about tanking. They still, like, if they want to tank, they're going to have to start like trading Kadri, Kuzmenko, go down the list. What do you mean everyone? Who did they get rid of? They traded Markstrom. Nick, thank you so much for the 2. Says, I have a job at Wonderland in the morning, but you're live. Hey, well, play the live stream at Wonderland, guys. Get the projector going. Get a watch party. We're playing the live stream at Wonderland tomorrow. Laine, Lindholm, or Ehlers to Carolina will happen tomorrow. I definitely could see Laine or Ehlers. What if it was Laine and Ehlers reuniting? They used to be roommates, guys. Oh my God. Now we're talking. Carolina brings in, it goes Martin Necas to Columbus. A package including Laine to Carolina. Then Carolina trades a first-round pick and prospects to bring in Nikolai Ehlers. Boom. New top line. Ehlers, Aho, Laine. You heard it here first. Boom. There you go. We're putting some faith back in the Hurricanes fans. Let's see. Should Tampa go for Sean Walker? Depends the price. Let's see. Yeah, that'd be cool. Santiago says, I'm a Kings fan and don't want to fully back. Why not? What's up, Jay? What's up, Mark? So Mark says, out of the Canadian teams that picked in the top 10, who makes playoffs first? I think that's what you asked. So it was Montreal, Ottawa, and Calgary. Atlantic Division's so tough. So for that reason, I'm going Calgary. Like Montreal, Ottawa, they've got to get through Florida, Tampa, Boston, Toronto, Detroit. Like, that's really tough. Like, that is extremely tough. So just by default, based on that, I'm going Calgary. Ian says Leafs trade Robertson for whatever you can. Sign Skinner to a reasonable deal. I'm sure Toronto will talk to Skinner. I think the Panthers are a perfect fit for Skinner, to be honest. Nathan, I think the Leafs are going to talk. If DeBrusque is going out west, maybe they talk to him. But if he's going out west, then I think Perron's the fit. What's up, Eagles? Good to see you in the chat. Yeah, Parker. I said Tampa could target like a Martin Jones or a Casey DeSmith tomorrow for sure. Jim, if I had to predict a team for Bertuzzi right now, it's Nashville. I had a couple of Eastern Conference teams that I thought could be a good fit, but now that it's rumored he's going to the West, I think Nashville makes a lot of sense. Joshua, John, what's going on? Good to have you guys in the chat. Justin, what's up? Anyways, almost 500 in the chat. You guys are dope. Canucks going after Ryan Lomberg, maybe? No, Jeff Skinner's getting bought out, so he's going to be a free agent. The Sabres have bought out Jeff Skinner. But yeah, guys, please smash that like button. It gets more engagement on the channel. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, it means more streams, more videos to come. It's always a good feeling, right? Especially like, I work a full-time job, basically like 3 different gigs on the go. And I do a lot of travel. I'm kind of always on the go. So definitely it's definitely good to see when the streams are bumping. There's good engagement. Definitely makes it worth it in the long run for sure. Where does Stammer end up? Gun to my head. I probably go Detroit. I think Stammer, Detroit or Nashville seems like the 2 destinations for me if he's leaving Tampa. I work like in the broadcast industry. So like all across like major North America, I'd say. Hey, Ken, I appreciate that. I mean, I'm honestly, guys, this setup right now is like my chill setup. Just kind of camera in the bottom right corner, just chilling on Twitter. It's kind of what I'd be doing anyways, except maybe I'd be laying down with a with a drink or like a TV show in the background, just scrolling on Twitter. But hey, I'm doing it with you guys. It's a good time. Good chats. Might as well not sleep. Yeah, fair. Gibbs says, you the man, Johnny. Love the Toronto rant videos, priceless. I appreciate that, Gib. Yeah, guys, you know what? A little crazy. My crazy side definitely comes out, but you know what? It's like a genuine kind of perspective a little bit. I think a lot of people yell at their TV or yell at their team, but I kind of just the only difference is I kind of just click record and then it's actually, you know what? In like a really weird way, it's kind of like healthy, to be honest. Just like friggin' rip into these guys or rip into the team for like 4 or 5 minutes, and then we're all chill. It's just to get, you know, we all react in irrational ways. We all have to blow off our steam somehow, and it is what it is. Hot take team for Stamkos? Like something unexpected? Unexpected. I'm trying to think. Vegas. That'd be hilarious. That'd be crazy, man. If Vegas doesn't bring back Marchessault or Chandler Stevenson and they get Stamkos, I honestly could kind of see it, to be honest. But again, someone just asked me for the hot take. 50 picks. What are you talking about? Joshua, I think the Gensel contract, I mentioned it earlier, but I'll say it again. I think it's going to be around $9.5 million for 7 years. I think that's what the Gensel contract's going to look like for Tampa. $9.5 million for 7 years. There you go, Patty Kane. Oh my God, look how many likes and retweets already. It was just posted 3 minutes ago. KANE AAV, Semp, it's $4 million with potential $2.5 million in bonus. So they can include that and pay it this year if they want, or they can push it to next year, I believe is how it goes. But yeah, it could be up to 6.5 this year. Well, J-Dub, I was saying that I think even with Tampa in the no tax state, I think it's still gonna have to be over 9. Hey, if I'm proven wrong, I'm proven wrong. But I was literally saying, like, for Gensel to go to a Canadian team like Vancouver, a lot of people weren't listening. But I said it had to be, like, over 10, close to 11. That sounds nuts, but I'm just saying, like, the difference of what he gets in his pocket playing for Florida versus playing for Vancouver, like, 9.5 and 11 is almost the same thing. Like, as crazy as that sounds, that's the reality. That's why, like, a Mitch Marner is signed for, like, $11 million, where Nikita Kucherov and Braden Point is 9.5. So a lot of people were like just calling me a dummy and saying I'm on some good shit for saying that, but I don't even think that's a bad take. I stand by that. For Vancouver to get Gensel, it would have to be 1,000% over 10 mil for him to even consider. So I do think he's going to get 9+ with Tampa. We'll see, though. If it's 8.5, then, hey, I'm proven wrong, but it's not far off. Can't see it being any lower than that. Yeah, J-Dub. There was a lot of Canucks fans that were not listening to me. Like, I put in my video that I thought it would be, like, max 11 million, but maybe you have to be close to that. And I was just like, I'm just going to go look at those comments. It's hilarious. And yeah, UFAs almost always get paid, like, overpaid. Like, the Canucks gave Mikheyev 4.7 per. Rain, I think there's an outside chance they could bring back Monahan. Past that, I don't know. I don't know if Winnipeg's very active. I think they're more active in the trade front right now with Ehlers and Rucker. I don't know if they're necessarily very active in the free agent market. But we'll see. I could be proven wrong. Yeah, Ken, that's the thing, right? Like, it's not a shocker that the success has been coming out of Florida, Tampa, Vegas in recent years. Oh, Spencer, I'd love if they could acquire Rucker. That's why I said, like, package Minton and Robertson together. Put a package together. Get it done. Nick, I think Topi Niemelä is going to get a shot, but clearly they don't feel as confident in him, or else they wouldn't have signed that Liljegren contract. So, in my opinion, I think the only chance Niemelä gets a fair shot is if Timmins gets traded. If Timmins gets traded, I think there's a fair shot that Niemelä could get a 6 or 7 D-man spot to start the season. But that's only if Timmins is traded. What's up, Kate? So J-Dub, Tampa can't sign for the 8 years regardless. It would have had to be a sign and trade. So, yeah, Tampa has till noon tomorrow, and then other teams are able to talk to Gensel. But there's no time frame. Like, it doesn't matter if they sign now or tomorrow. Either way, the max they can sign Gensel to is 7 years. No, Nathan, for sure. Like, a lot of people say, like, nights before free agency, trade deadline, like, a lot of these, like, major years or, like, major dates, most years teams are, like, getting, like, 4 hours of sleep maybe. I'm going to try to get to bed here in the next hour because then I'm going to be up pretty early to get the stream going. Jacob, I think it's possible we could get a late night signing or trade for sure. That's kind of why I was thinking maybe I should hang out till midnight. What do you guys think? I know some people have dropped off, but I should probably get to sleep soon. But thank you so much, guys, for everyone that's hitting that subscribe button. It does mean a lot again. It definitely makes it worth it to have so many great fans in the chat, and appreciate the donations, all the comments, all that good stuff. Always super engaging. What's up, Evan? I'll be going live fairly early. I don't want to put a time on it. But for people that have followed the channel, you know I go on in good time. So definitely before 10. Hey, if you're up for your morning coffee, there's a good chance I'll be live. I'll put it that way. All right, Avi, sounds good. 3 a.m., no chance. There's no chance he comes back, Joanne, it looks like. Things can always change, but it doesn't look like it. Blended. Free agency opens up 12 Eastern time. Hey, happy Canada Day, Tyler. See you tomorrow. Thanks for coming by. Semp, thank you. Tommy, thank you so much for being in the chat. I appreciate it. I'll be live early tomorrow. And a lot of news will probably come out in the morning, and then official signings by noon. Justin with the $2 dono says I'm out, but see you tomorrow at the stream. Great stream. Thank you so much, Justin. I really appreciate it. I just know, guys, when I end the stream, and specifically maybe around this time before midnight. But yeah, Nick Robertson's trade request down bad. Logan says, what 3 Canadian teams do you think will win a cup first? The top 3 potential teams, I think Edmonton got a taste, so I think Connor McDavid's going to be back. I think Vancouver. And I mean, again, the faith is lacking with Toronto, but if you're talking about best teams that have the stars that are set up for playoff appearances and maybe go on a run, like Toronto's in that conversation. But right now, based on the path and based on the teams itself, I'd probably go Edmonton and Vancouver 1-2. Nah, blended. Hey, Ken, I appreciate it. Yeah, I hope all of you guys that are in the stream, you join tomorrow morning. It'd be great to see you. Jose, I think they're still going to talk to Zadorov, but I guess the price has gone higher. I don't know, man. I think it's dumb. I think they should still go after Zadorov. Like, if you're not going to bring back Bertuzzi, spend the money like somewhere. Like, I'm so tired of these like stupid 2 and 2.5 mil or 3 mil contracts for guys that don't move the needle. Like, now I'm going to have the perspective of Liljegren, Kampf, and Yarncrow combined. Like, we're talking between 7 to 8 million. Like, those 3 guys, you could sign a top 4 defenseman. Like a legit top 4 D-man, not a guy that's still trying to break into the NHL as a consistent defender. Like, it's frustrating. What about Buffalo? Yeah, I'm waiting for people to ask me questions. I think Buffalo was trying to see if they can get in on the Patty Kane conversation. So they bought out Jeff Skinner. I mean, the Sabres, it's tough, right? Because it's like they have a lot of young forwards. I feel like they're going to be more active in the trade market. But in terms of signings, I said don't be surprised if Buffalo looks at Vincent Desharnais from Edmonton. I think they tried the physical and like veteran experience with like Eric Johnson, but he was just slow, got exposed a lot. I think Vincent Desharnais could be an option as a bottom pair guy. I also wonder if Buffalo looks into like Matt Roy or Sean Walker as the right shot guy. Past that, I think they have their goalies. They might sound like a veteran third goalie. And then their forward group, like I said, I think it's a trade market situation. The one wild card guy that I really don't know where his interest lies right now is Marchessault. Like Jonathan Marchessault, I don't know where his interest is at. So maybe they overpay a guy like Marchessault, but yeah, Buffalo's an interesting one. I don't have too many rumors on what the Sabres are up to, but more so that they've been active in the trade market, like trying to see if they could trade for Martin Necas. That's been a heavy rumor. Buffalo looking into Nikolai Ehlers potentially. So that's more of what I heard around Buffalo, is that they're looking actively in the trade market because they have so many young forwards that can compete for roster spots that it's like they can't really sign a guy right now without, like, I don't know, making a move or at least having a plan to make a couple moves. So I would keep an eye on Buffalo for maybe making a splash to get like a Martin Necas or Nikolai Ehlers. Yeah, blended. I mean, you never know, but it's a standard decision, right? Potential landing spots for Tarasenko. Back to Florida, Minnesota, Tampa. I'm at 3. Washington. If I could do one more. Carolina, maybe. Yeah, Zadorov might get over. Yeah, he might be overpaid tomorrow. I don't know if Martin's underappreciated. I think a lot of fans have given a lot of patience towards him as a Toronto boy, and yeah, he has not been. He's had no clutch factor for the last 5 years, like at all. A couple game 4 goals, but like game 5s to 7s, he's just not been. Yeah, I think Pesci's definitely going to sign with the Devils tomorrow. I've heard it could be as high as $6 million per year. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but anyways, guys, I think I'm going to end the live stream here, but knowing my luck, it's 25 minutes till midnight. News might happen, but hey, that's another reason for me just to hop back on and post a video quick. So keep an eye on that, guys. I might post a video if news comes out in the next 25 minutes. I'm exhausted, so I think I'm going to get ready to go to sleep so I can be up early in the morning to stream all day tomorrow for Free Agent Frenzy. So again, guys, if you haven't yet, it's free to do so. Just hit that subscribe button on the channel and hit the notification bell once you subscribe. It's right next to it. You just click the bell, all notifications, and you should get notified when I go live. If not, follow me on X, on Twitter. It's just at Hot Take Hockey, and I usually tweet out when I go live as well. All right? Is there news? Okay, so Sam Steele is staying with the Dallas Stars 1 year, $1.2 million. Thanks for the show, guys. There you go. Hopefully that's just the last news of the day. Yep, happy early Canada Day. Kyle, I'll be live early. I don't want to lock in a time, but you've been here. You know when I go live. It's definitely before 10. So I'll surprise you guys. I don't want to put the expectations out there and then something happens because I might have to have extra prep in the morning. Also got to do a couple stuff on the personal side, but I'll definitely be live at least a couple hours before free agency opens up. So if you guys are in the morning having a sip of coffee, likely I'll be live. All right, guys, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. I need my sleep then to do that. So again, subscribe, reach out on social media, hit that like button always. Just a button of engagement, and it helps the channel big time. So I appreciate you guys, and looking forward to seeing you all day tomorrow. If you have any questions, reach out. All right. Lots of love, guys. Get your sleep as well. I'll see you bright and early in the morning for a chaotic day tomorrow. There's going to be so much NHL news tomorrow. It's going to be absolute chaos. Trades, signings, all of that stuff. And I'll be here to react and break it down with you guys. All right? Have a great night. Talk tomorrow. Peace.